The 1-cent coin, it's the smallest and often the least appreciated currency in our pockets. For some, it's just a piece of copper or zinc metal that gets lost at the bottom of a purse or tossed aside in a jar. But did you know that this tiny coin has a story that dates back centuries, holds a surprising amount of historical significance, and believe it or not, has actually been responsible for some of the highest valued coins in history? In today's video, we'll dive deep into the history of the 1-cent coin, its value over time, and how it's become much more than just a small token of currency. From the origins of its design to the rare and valuable 1-cent coins that are worth thousands today, let's explore the fascinating journey of this unassuming piece of money. The 1-cent coin's history goes back more than 200 years. The United States Mint first issued it in 1793, with a design that was significantly different from what we recognize today. The original design, known as the chain cent, featured a chain of 15 links representing the original 13 colonies and 2 additional links to signify the Union. This design was quite ambitious and highly symbolic of the fledgling country. However, the chain cent was short-lived and only produced for a single year, largely because it was impractical and the chain looked clunky on the coin. In 1794, the design was changed to what's known as the flowing hair cent. This featured Lady Liberty on the obverse, with flowing hair, and a more traditional wreath on the reverse. This coin was more streamlined and easier to produce, but it was still somewhat complex in design. However, over the years, the design would evolve as the U.S. Mint adapted to growing demands for simpler, more recognizable coins. By the mid-19th century, a new design would take hold, the Indian head cent, which was produced from 1859 to 1909. This coin featured a Native American headdress and marked a turning point in the popularity of the penny. Its design was beloved by the public, and many collectors today still seek these coins for their historical value and unique artistic appeal. As we entered the 20th century, the U.S. Mint introduced another famous design, the Lincoln cent. It was created to honor the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, and has remained largely unchanged in its obverse design since 1909. This coin was initially composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Today, the 1-cent coin may seem insignificant, but let's take a closer look at how it holds up in terms of value, especially considering inflation over the years. The original 1-cent coin from the late 18th century, such as the chain cent, had an estimated value of approximately 1 cent in the 1790s. But with inflation and the devaluation of money today, that coin could be worth over $1,000, depending on its condition and rarity. In fact, certain rare versions of the 1-cent coin from the 19th century, like the 1856 Flying Eagle cent, can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. The Flying Eagle cent, produced from 1856 to 1858, with its distinctive eagle in flight on the obverse, is particularly sought after by collectors. Only a few thousand were made, and even though the face value was just 1 cent, it's a rare find for numismatists today, with one of these coins selling for nearly $500,000 at auction in 2013. In recent years, the 1-cent coin has become a subject of debate. While some argue it's a waste of minting resources due to its low purchasing power, others point out that certain old pennies can be worth far more than their face value. For example, the 1909 SVDB Lincoln cent, one of the first Lincoln pennies ever produced, can sell for up to $100,000 depending on its condition. This particular penny was controversial at the time for featuring the initials of the designer, Victor David Brenner, on the reverse. Let's not forget that the 1-cent coin has a place in the economy today as well, despite discussions about its potential phase-out. The Mint continues to produce billions of pennies each year, although their actual purchasing power is minimal. The U.S. government spends more money to produce pennies than they're worth, and the cost of producing a single 1-cent coin is roughly 1.7 cents, meaning taxpayers are losing money every time a penny is made. While the penny's value in circulation today is low, it's important to recognize its cultural significance. The 1-cent coin continues to be a part of everyday transactions, And although many people see it as a nuisance, the penny serves as an important reminder of the nation's history. Now, let's take a moment to dive into some of the most rare and valuable 1-cent coins that exist today. There are certain pennies that can fetch mind-blowing prices at auctions, and some have become the stuff of legend among collectors. These rarities, despite having an original value of just 1 cent, can command values in the millions. For example, one of the most famous and valuable coins ever discovered is the 1943 copper penny. During World War II, the U.S. Mint switched to producing pennies made from steel to conserve copper. However, a small number of copper pennies were mistakenly minted in 1943, and today, these rare coins can sell for over $1 million. Another famous example is the 1914 D. Lincoln cent. Although its value when first minted was just 1 cent, this particular coin is one of the most valuable pennies in the world today, with pristine examples fetching upwards of $1,000,000. These coins, while small in size, have become symbols of the extraordinary range of possibilities in the world of numismatics. What was once a mere penny is now a window into the past, holding extraordinary value in terms of both history and rarity. From its humble beginnings as a practical tool for everyday trade to its place as a cherished collector's item, the 1-cent coin has lived an interesting life. Although we may often overlook it, the 1-cent coin carries with it centuries of American history, a reflection of changing values, and rare pieces of artwork that can fetch prices well beyond their original worth, whether it's still part of daily transactions or a coveted treasure for numismatists. The 1-cent coin will always remind us of how even the smallest piece of currency can hold incredible stories and untold value. Thanks for joining me on this historical journey. If you learned something new or have a rare penny you're curious about, leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future deep dives into fascinating historical objects. Until next time, keep collecting, keep exploring, and keep learning.